years ago, my son was India's first child to be diagnosed with this rare condition. It's like imagine going to the doctor with an 18-month-old baby who's not standing independently and then getting to know that your child has a rare disease without a cure. And it's going to impact his learning, his growth, and everything that follows. So it was very difficult being the first child in India, and here I am 2 decades later in a much happier place because I've helped so many families.
It's not easy. It's not easy to see your own child going through this and then also reaching out to so many more families suffering with this. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Decoding Mommy Life with the Experts, where I get you authentic information and expertise in the field of parenting and more. So today we have with us Mrs. Shalini Kedia. She is the chairperson of Fragile X Society in India. Over the past 2 decades, she has helped nearly 12,000 families. She's also the co-author of the guidelines issued by IAP for Fragile X in India and also a very renowned TEDx speaker. Dispelling ignorance on Fragile X, a condition which impacts millions worldwide, is something that she strives hard for. Making a difference in the lives of those impacted is her mission in life. Welcome to our episode, Shalini. We're so glad to have you here, and
So much, Pooja. It's a pleasure being.
there's so much we want to learn from you, and we've heard so much about the term fragile X. So, the first thing I think our audience is very curious to know, Shalini, is what exactly is fragile X?
So, Fragile X is an inherited condition which can cause intellectual disability and autism. To break it down further, we've heard of conditions like autism, intellectual disability, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and we just know that okay, these children don't have the exact IQ like us, or they are different intellectually, they are slow. So, similarly, Fragile X is a condition just like that, but it's a rare condition and it's genetic inherited. And it's a leading cause, one of the leading causes of inherited intellectual disability amongst children worldwide.
Okay, so are fragile X and autism the same thing?
So, Fragile X and autism are interlinked, but they're not the same thing. Fragile X is the only known single gene cause of autism, but Fragile X is a medically defined genetic condition. Autism is a behavioral condition. So the symptoms are similar, like children with autism and Fragile X will have intellectual disability, speech delay, behavioral issues, sensory processing issues. However, being an inherited condition and a genetic condition makes Fragile X a little more detailed. I mean, you need to have a more detailed approach towards the child and the family because there are many more members in the family who will be impacted.
That's something very new to us. So, how did you find out about fragile X, right? Because it is not such a common terminology that we are using in our everyday lives.
Well, learned about it the very hard way. 25 years ago, my son was India's first child to be diagnosed with this rare condition. And I was completely thrown into the sea because it's like imagine going to the doctor with an 18-month-old baby who's not standing independently and then getting to know that your child has a rare disease without a cure. And it's going to impact his learning, his growth, and everything that follows. So it was very difficult being the first child in India. I did not have any other family to talk to. I did not have enough information to take me forward on this journey. The therapist also did not know much about it, and it was like grappling in the dark. I reached out to experts in the US, received information, had amazing therapists and doctors in India who helped me with my child. And when I took him to the United States in 2003, on the last day, the doctor requested me to start something in India because she said there are many families like you who need help, but they don't know where to go. You could be the lighthouse. I definitely was very hesitant and I said no because I had my hands full. But my husband truly believed that this is a divine purpose of our life, and he said we must be giving this back to society. And here I am, 2 decades later, in a much happier place because I've helped so many families.
Right. That's so wonderful, you know. Not many people would take up something like this because it is such a huge responsibility, and at the same time, it's not easy. It's not easy to see your own child going through this and then also reaching out to so many more families suffering with this. So I would like to know, Shalini, how common is this? How many parents, you know, are really aware of this in India today?
So today, a Fragile X is not that rare a word. Of course, the condition is still a rare condition, but because of all the awareness campaigns and because of platforms like yours and all the help we receive in trying to spread awareness, people know, okay, there is some condition called Fragile X which is connected to children, intellectual disability, autism. Okay, might as well ask the doctor about it. So the level of awareness has increased. Families are receiving help at a younger age for their children. That means receiving the right diagnosis, the right treatment, and a better prognosis, which is a big, big thing. I would say, given India's population, you can estimate we would have around 4 lakh children in India with the condition.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a large number. It's a large number. I mean, like, I recently got elected to be on board Fragile X International, and I was in Europe. And I was thinking, I said, if I combine Europe and so many more countries, we still don't match the population of India. We're looking at large numbers. So we have helped over 12,500 families. And out of that, some families have had more than one child affected. We've seen families with 3 children affected within the same family. So the numbers are large. It is a rare condition, but rare does not mean less.
So I'm very curious to know, how did you find out about your child having this condition? I know he was only 18 months old, like you said. So what were the symptoms you saw that you had to go to a doctor to check?
So I had an older daughter who matched all her symptoms and was in time. And since my son was born, he was a very cranky child, didn't sleep at night, was difficult to soothe if he had tummy aches and, would have vomit issues. Then, as he grew, he didn't match his milestones, he didn't sit, stand, his head, nothing in time. And at 18 months, when he was not even standing independently, it was a big red flag. And I kept telling my pediatrician, something is wrong, something is wrong. It was that maternal instinct right from the age of 6 months telling the doctor something's not okay with the child. And the doctor kept telling me, no, it's fine, it's fine. He's just a little delayed, he'll catch up. And then we're still in a generation, we were still in a generation where they believe that boys do things later than girls. And so my family said, no, it's okay, just give it time. But I was amongst the lucky ones because 18 months is actually a very young age to have got the diagnosis of Fragile X 25 years ago. I know children who are getting the diagnosis today at the age of 8, 10, 12. So I was that way very lucky that we received an early diagnosis, and we did struggle to get the right treatment because there wasn't enough information, but we had great therapists and doctors who were ready to take that effort, read information I provided them with, and help him achieve his milestones.
Interesting. So if parents today have a concern about Fragile X, or if they think that, oh, maybe my child has this condition and I want to confirm, where in India can they reach? Who can they reach out to in India, and where can they like go, and what kind of tests they have to take? Can you share some information about that?
Sure. So thankfully, we are very accessible. We have very good social media presence. If you type Fragile X India, you're going to come across our contact. And we have families contacting us not only from India, but all over the world.
Wow.
And they will have questions like, they'll share. So we don't just randomly send people for blood work. We think it's our responsibility to also go through things. So we go through the whole case. what are the symptoms, why does the parent feel, etc., etc. And maybe 6 out of 10 times, yeah, we do think the test is needed. 4 out of 10, we'll tell them, I don't think you should be doing the test. You look at other options, maybe look at this, look at that. We have a list on our website of the places they can go to, and in case they still don't get the help, they can contact us. It's a very simple blood test. You don't need to be fasting or anything. They just need 7 ml of blood, and it's done in many, many cities and many centers all across India with very accurate results now. So, yeah, so some people directly reach the doctor saying, okay, I want to know about it or do the test. Some people get in touch with us, and we've kept it very open. That's why a lot of information is there on our website, because we've experienced families hesitating to talk with us. Sometimes they just want the information. Sometimes I'll get messages from a fake profile on Instagram saying, okay, this is my case and I want details. And they don't want to share the number, but I'm happy. I just give them the information and the details they need. Idea being, they need help and they get the help they need.
Yeah, that's very kind of you, actually. And I think it's a wonderful thing you're doing, Shalini, for saving so many lives out there. Which brings me to my next question. Is Fragile X curable?
Sadly, there's no cure for Fragile X syndrome. So I'll explain the science behind it. Okay, we have our 23 pairs of chromosomes, and the last pair is X and Y. Our chromosomes carry our genes, which carry information. Now, on the X chromosome, there's one particular gene called the FMR1 gene, which, because of a mutation, shuts down. Now, when it shuts down, it's not doing the work it has to do, which is to produce a protein that the brain needs for development.
Okay.
Researchers are trying very hard, but they haven't found a way to switch on the gene or to get the protein into the brain. So, there is no cure as of today for Fragile X syndrome. But, however, there are a lot of treatments which make a huge difference to the prognosis of the child.
And what can parents do additionally to, help their child who are suffering from Fragile X?
So, A is, of course, going to the doctor, getting the right treatment in terms of therapy, medication, or whatever is needed. B, which is the most important and the most difficult, is acceptance. It's very important and it plays a crucial role in the life of the child when the family has accepted the child for being the way they are. That does not mean you don't work on the benefit of the child and the growth of the child, but giving the child unconditional love and acceptance despite the odds is something that truly makes a child bloom. And I always give families this example. I personally took over 4 years to accept my child, but I was alone. I did not have anybody. I did not share the diagnosis with my parents or cousins or friends or anybody. There was a huge taboo around intellectual disability.
It
But
takes time
today,
to accept. It takes time to.
absolutely, it takes a lot of time because it's not easy. And today, when I speak with parents, I always tell them, take your time to cry. Take your time to grieve the loss of your perfect baby, your dream child. Take your time, but knowing that we're going to pull you on this side of the fence where there are families who've accepted their children and their children have turned out into wonderful human beings. They have their own abilities, which cannot be really weighed in terms of a scale, but they're responsible, happy individuals who contribute to society in their own way. So, I think acceptance and giving the child that unconditional love is a very, very important part. And it also helps families, when the mother ultimately has come to terms with the son, with the child. Uh, the whole approach is very different, very conducive for the child to grow, be happy, learn, and that's what they need.
No, absolutely. I think it is the most difficult for a mother, especially to, accept it first. But when a mother accepts that condition of the child, she can just make it very beautiful for the world as well.
Absolutely.
So, have you faced any challenges after you accepted and found out and got all the treatments done as necessary? Did you find it difficult even in the recent years?
Yeah,
Because of this condition, has it been difficult even now for you to?
of course. I'll be lying if I say no. I mean, it'll be a total lie. Just because I've accepted my child and I give him unconditional love and he's turned out to be an excellent child, it's not that I do have days when I will, in my mind, compare him to another 27-year-old and say that I wish my son would do this and I wish this was the same and I wish this was the same. But the thing is that it's going to last for 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. And then you come back to your
Back.
own life and you say that, "No, I'm very happy where I am. And I've got different virtues in my child, which probably a neurotypical child would not have given me. And when I cherish and celebrate those diverse virtues, it's really incredible. I mean, it's so precious. It's so different. So yeah, you do go through that, but you go through it very less frequently, and you come out of it very fast, and it just makes you stronger and more accepting and loving.
Yeah, no, I think it's important that we have more people like you, Shalini, who are ready to help others because we get so drowned in our own condition that we don't see what's happening outside of that circle. But for you to reach out to 1,000 more families and in fact 10,000 more families and you know help them is like it's great. It's very commendable. So I think for the audience who's watching, if you think that there are any symptoms where you have a doubt about this Fragile X, you know who to reach out to. You can reach out to the Fragile X Society, which is headed by Shalini, and you can reach out to Shalini directly on Instagram. They have a good presence there where you can text them and you can actually ask them any questions that you have related to Fragile X. So, Shalini, if you have any message for the parents watching this, what would that message be for them?
My message would be that if you have a doubt in your mind, don't just push the doubt away. Like, I've seen a lot of families who feel the fear that, okay, maybe my child is not hitting their milestones, and I always encourage them, just go ask the doctor. Like, I don't expect everyone to be paranoid and go test for Fragile X, no, but I'm saying the doctor usually has a growth chart at the back of the file. Monitor your child's growth. If you see a consistent delay in one area, two areas, three areas, bring it up to your doctor. Discuss it with the doctor. If you think, you still want to discuss it further, get connected with us. Like I said, we don't just randomly send everyone who connects with us for testing. We make our own analysis. We go through everything, and only if it is a valid reason, we send them for testing.
Okay, thank you so much. This has been really very helpful, and I'm sure a lot of parents will benefit out of this, Shalini. I just had one last question because this is something I keep getting from my audience. Is how expensive is this treatment? If you can just give us an estimate of, is it like a very expensive treatment to this, or is it something which is reasonable and parents can afford?
The treatments are very expensive and reasonable also. So you have therapies which range from maybe needing 3 therapies a day to once in 3 days. It's spectrum disorder. It depends upon each child. But usually, typically, a therapy session would be between 1,500 to 2,000 rupees. And there are a lot of centers who give discounted rates if families are non affording. And of course, there are a lot of government run centers which are completely free of cost also. So, in fact, we make it a point to even visit the government run centers and empower them with the latest tips and techniques on Fragile X. So, they're not missing out on the quality of the treatment. So
Okay.
it's not necessary that only expensive centers are going to give you the best. No. You are going to get good treatment, whatever the center may be.
Okay, thank you so much, Shalini, for helping us with all the information. It's very valuable for us. And thank you for joining us on today's show. Thank you so
Pleasure.
much.
Okay.